What's up? It's Marcos, Sage of Soccer, and today I'm going to talk about Jonathan Gómez and our backup left back and fullback situation. And really, if I think Jonathan Gómez should be called into the World Cup squad, because I think that there's a lot of talk about his potential and wanting to cap tie him, but strictly on his quality of play, I really think there's an argument for him. You say you really shouldn't bring somebody this young to the World Cup team, and I understand that argument, but at the same time, should we be bringing anybody else? I mean, just look at our backup left back situation. We have Robinson, who should be starting, and then behind him, Sam Vines. He's fine. He's a player, but I think if we called up Marco Farfan instead of him, I don't think anybody really would have noticed. Like, he's fine. It's just he's only so good. With George Bello, I think George Bello has a lot more potential than a lot of people give him credit for. He shouldn't be in the senior squad. We've seen that before, but I just want to say he's only like a couple months older than John Tolkien, who a lot of people are really excited about his potential for him, what he's been doing in the MLS, and it has been impressive, but I don't think either of them offer anything that Jonathan Gómez doesn't. DeJuan Jones, I don't think that's happening. We don't really want a right-footed left back, except if you are really good, which, Dest, we'll talk about him a bit later. And then what are other options? Tim Ream? I don't think so. Daniel Lovitz? Kevin Paradis? He's not a natural at left back. I take Jonathan Gómez over Joe Scally at that position. The only players who I've rated as, significantly better at left back, enough that it actually makes a difference, Jedi Robinson, Serginho Dest playing out at left. That's the only players who I'd say have a meaningful difference in quality over Jonathan Gómez. And Dest is an option there, but if you bring him on, you have to have a backup right back, and what are options there? I mean, I do like Joe Scally, but he hasn't exactly lit the world on fire in his U.S. men's national team call-ups. DeAndre Yedlin, listen, I'm fine if we bring him into the World Cup squad as our fifth fullback, just to have a World Cup player with experience. I'd rather have John Brooks. I might rather have Brad Guzan. But if we want to have somebody there for experience, that's fine, but he shouldn't see the field. Calling him a pace merchant's a compliment. He's not a good player at all. Reggie Cannon, he's offered next to nothing going forward. Even in moments where he was allowed to attack, it really didn't look that good. And I don't see much reason to bring him to the team. Honestly, Shaq Moore, he hasn't been that impressive. But I'd be willing to listen to calling him up ahead of Cannon and Yedlin. And honestly, he was at the same level as Jonathan Gómez, playing in the Spanish second tier last year. And he's legitimately in the argument for our right back situation, which is a much better situation than our left back. I think there's an actual case that you can bring up Jonathan Gómez strictly based on his quality. And that's forgetting his potential, which he's probably one of the top potential players we have in our youth system. And cap tying him is in our mind. We can't forget that. As much as it is a risk to take him to the World Cup, it's almost a risk to not take him. And not only have to play against him every year when he's playing for Mexico, if he decides to join there, but also lose another quality left-footed player because we don't have that many. And I don't think Kevin Paradis is naturally a left back. Caleb Wiley's been playing really far forward. I don't think we understand how much we kind of need Jonathan Gómez to commit to us. And listen, I know that a lot of times people go, oh, you just want a young player, you don't really care about the quality of our older guys. No, I'm looking at this and I'm saying I think that he probably deserves to be on this team based off of talent. And if he doesn't, the amount of reward that we get from having Jonathan Gómez in this team outweighs the risk of a slightly worse backup left back. So honestly, I'd be taking Jonathan Gómez to the World Cup. It's tough to want to call up a guy who really hasn't played that much of the senior game, but Julian Green did fine for us last tournament. I'll be honest, I'm willing to take that risk over George Bello, Sam Vines, Reggie Cannon, DeAndre Yedlin. Shaq more. I think it's worth the risk, and I think we should look to give Jonathan Gómez definitely a call up in September. Hopefully get him into the World Cup squad. So yeah, that's my opinions on Jonathan Gómez. Hope that he should come to the World Cup, and yeah, that's all I'll talk right now. See you.